Welcome to another episode of Apex Legends Deep Dive, and today's legend is Conduit.
Welcome to the Apex Games, legend.
On today's episode, we will be looking at all the perks and details for Conduit and how each one can be used in match and how each one can benefit you as well. Before we begin, I would just like to say if you're here watching this video, I really appreciate you stopping by and taking the time in your day to check it out. If you would like, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all my content, and leave a like on the video if you're enjoying this series of Apex Legends Deep Dive. Enjoy. Alright, so now we're at Conduit, the last legend in the support class range, and also the latest legend to be added into Apex. Just a quick reminder, since she is in the support class, I just have to mention that she has the ability also, like all the support class legends, to open hidden compartments in the support bins on the maps and craft teammates banners whether you're alive or dead. Alright, so Conduit was introduced in season 19 and she came out with full force when she launched. She was very strong because her ultimate took forever to break, had a lot of health, and it was very frustrating to fight again. Even now, she is currently top meta to be used in ranked, where all her abilities are very useful and strong to use. While Revenant is the top legend right now in the current meta, Conduit is 4th on the list. Now, for this season specifically, they did nerf her a little bit, but obviously the nerf was just enough to still keep her viable and strong for sure. I believe what makes her helpful is the fact that she can throw temporary shields for herself and your teammates. This shield is basically a full shield once cracked for a period of time. So if you use it right, you can get in a fight, and if you get cracked, have Conduit give you a shield again, and you can push the enemy team while they're weak. So for example, let's put this in a situation where you're in a fight, you cracked them, they cracked you, Conduit boosts you up with a shield, you can push them and win, because let's say you're already at purple or even blue, either way you're gonna win because they're already cracked. You can easily win if it's timed right, of course. But this is why she's being used a lot, I think, currently right now. It gives you that confidence while you're in a fight. You know, you could, I mean, it is frustrating to fight, that's for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another nerf coming in the future. I'm pretty sure with the current meta, a couple nerfs will be coming soon to these legends. The addition of her perks have also made her abilities a lot more viable as well. All right, let's do an introduction to Conduit's abilities. Conduit has a passive called Save Your Speed. This allows you to sprint faster towards allies that are out of range of your tactical. This basically gives you a speed boost to catch up to your teammates when they're out of reach. So basically, if you can't throw shields to them, you're out of reach, you'll get a boost as you run towards them. It's almost similar to Mad Maggie's Wrecking Ball speed pads. It's that kind of speed boost that you get with about, you know, that certain sprinting speed. But it is only when you're sprinting, so you have to be sprinting. If you're walking, you know, or anything, it will not work. Like for example, if you strafe out of the direction, then the speed boost will go away. The range for this is probably about 50 meters. And like I said before, the speed boost is about 30%, and the effect has no cooldown. So I think this is great to always be able to hurry up and get to your teammates in case you get caught looting for too long. You know, I don't think it's a bad passive to have. Her tactical is called Radiant Transfer. This allows Conduit to send a surge of energy to a teammate or yourself, temporarily regenerating shields when in danger. The cooldown for this is 25 seconds, and the range is also around the same as the passive, 50 meters. Keep in mind that these shields have small subphases when they're applied. So for example, regeneration of shields is phase 1. Damage and broken shields are reinforced with temporary shields. It lasts about 8 seconds or so. Phase 2 is shield hold. This allows any shield that was granted from phase 1 to stay in place for about 30 seconds. And then phase 3 is shield decay, which is when any shield that is left from previous phases, your temporary shield starts to decay and will be removed. So it's kind of like a system of they throw a shield on you, it holds off for a while, unless it's damaged or broken, it reinforces for a while, then it stays on whatever temporary shield you had, and then it just decays after time. Her ultimate is called Energy Barricade. This deploys an array of shield jamming devices which damages and slows enemies. The cooldown for this is 2.5 minutes. This throws a row of 7 shield jammers in a straight line, and it takes about 4 seconds to activate. Also, the amount of time that these stay active for is 45 seconds, or if they're destroyed, since each one has 200 HP. Now, this was just nerfed this season. With the season when it started, this was way longer before. It was 60 seconds and it had 250 HP. So it made her very strong in season 19 when she launched, for sure. They obviously had to nerf it because it was crazy. It was getting out of hand. But even now, I feel like they might even nerf it again. They might dump it down to 30 seconds seconds or 35 seconds and 175 HP. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. Let's take a look at level 2 upgrades for Conduit. Option 1, battery collection. Shield battery count shown above death boxes. This perk allows you to see the amount of batteries that are available in that box. This perk is also offered for other previous legends that we have mentioned. But again, it's just not a great perk to use for any situation. The only situation I could see this being used is if you just want quick intel on the amount of batteries instead of having to look inside the box itself. Kind of a quick glance just to find batteries. But again, I think this perk, in my opinion, is just a little weak overall. Option 2, bigger jam. Each ultimate jammer's damage radius is increased by 10%. This perk allows your damage from your ultimate jammer to increase. So currently the range is about 10 meters or so per jammer. So this would increase it to about 11 to 12 meters. Now I understand it's just 1 or 2 meters, but you know, it's not game breaking. I mean, anything more I think would be pretty broken, honestly. It can go out of hand because it is 7 of them. So it would make, so you have 7 jammers, you're looking at a total of 70 meters almost. So this would increase it to, give or take, in a straight line, give or take, this would give you up to 75 almost, give or take, maybe. But you know, it just offers a little bit more coverage when the ultimate is thrown. I think it's a great addition for Conduit, in my opinion, for sure. Not too crazy, but not too overpowered as well. Let's take a look at level 3 upgrades for Conduit. Option 1, split charge. Gain a tactical charge but have the shield regeneration duration cut in half. This perk allows you to gain an extra charge for your tactical, but the shield regeneration is cut in half. This one will be situation to use for sure. Having 2 charges to throw temporary shields will be helpful if you and your team are able to finish a fight quick and get third party. So for example, you could throw one while in the first fight, then finish that fight, and then if you get third party, you have another one to throw to back you up again, right? So just remember though that the regen is cut in half, so you will have to time it just right while you're in a fight. So I think it's a great addition to have this as well. Option 2, radiant transfer. Increase tactical range by 10 meters. This perk allows you to increase the amount of range for you to throw your radiant transfer to on your teammates. The current range is 50 meters, so this perk would bump it up to 60 meters. I think it's a great addition since this will help you support your teammates in case they get cracked. You could be a little bit behind or anything, and let's say your teammates are up a little bit ahead. As long as you stay in that range, you'll be able to still protect them in case they get caught up and ambushed, right? I just think ultimately any additional support for your teammates would be great for any Conduit player for sure. All right, so for my final verdict for Conduit and choosing the best 2 perks to use while playing Conduit in a match, I would probably go with bigger jam and radiant transfer. Now the reason I say this is because each perk benefits Conduit much more than the other 2 perks, in my opinion. At level 2, I just think the battery perk will not be as useful as the bigger jam perk. The increase of the radius for the ultimate is a much better option to help cover more space for a team to hold while fighting. And as for level 3, while I like the idea of split charge to give you that extra tactical to use, I believe that extra range will give you a much better support role for your teammates. Now, you know, again, this would be great if your teammates are too far or if your teammates get caught up alone. It would be just great to have that extra range in order to fight, in order to help them out if they need it. But I will say this, there is an exception here for sure. If you can manage, and I haven't tested it out myself personally, but if you can manage the 2 tacticals and are okay with the regen being split in half, and if you don't really need it, like I said, if you use it in those moments where you get into a fight, throw it on in that fight, finish the fight quick, and you see a third party coming, it could be a backup to throw a shield again and be able to hold off the third party maybe. So if you're okay with that, then I would say it's not a bad option to have either way. So you could probably go with that. Oh, also just a quick note, I know this video was a little bit shorter than my other videos. It's only because Conduit has only been around for 1 season, so I didn't really get to talk about a history of being overbroken or, you know, talk about any type of history and how long. Oh, and also just a quick note, I just wanted to say that I went back and tested this out and I realized that you can only throw 1 shield at a time for 1 teammate. So obviously I kind of figured out that later on, I think it might be better to have this perk on instead, to have 2 tacticals. That way you can throw both shields on both your teammates, including yourself as well. So I think that that's more worth having than the radiant transfer. But you know, I kind of had to change my mind on that. But if you want, you can always go with that option as well, to use the double tactical instead of the radiant transfer. It is preference at this point. Just wanted to put that out there. Well, there it is, everyone. That is all the details on Conduit and how each perk can benefit you or not while in game. I appreciate everyone that stopped by to check out the video. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to check out all uploads, shorts, and streams. So this concludes the support class range, and we will be moving on to the last class range change, which is the controller class, in the next episode, and we will be starting off with Caustic. Enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, never stop gaming. Amaru out. Peace.